Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So I wanted to talk about Rick and Michonne, I guess The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. I'm always going to refer to it as Rick and Michonne. The Ones Who Live to me is just a harder title to say. I just prefer calling it Rick and Michonne because I'm just, honestly, for me, I kind of got used to it. I don't know. I mean, I don't really call it The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon that much. I still do, but I usually call it The Daryl Dixon Show just because it's like, it's a little easier to say. But anyways, I want to talk about Rick and Michonne because I think that this show may actually start to give us a lot more teasers here. And I think this is going to start next week. And so obviously beforehand, we got some confirmation that AMC wasn't going to have a Walking Dead Universe panel at Comic-Con or at New York Comic-Con this year, which originally for me, I was like, well, they're probably not going to really talk about a lot anyways. And last week, there were some rumors anyways that there could be an event that was happening next week at New York Comic-Con. And then over the last few days, we actually have official confirmation that they are actually going to be having a panel. And not only that, it's going to be a 2-hour panel. Now, if this panel was 30 minutes, I would still be excited to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to check it out. They'll probably talk about this and that. They could talk about the Rick and Michonne show. This is literally 2 hours. Like, what are they going to talk about for 2 hours? Just the Daryl Dixon show, which is already almost fully aired at that point. So what? They're going to talk about the finale, Dead City Season 2. There's nothing to show off for that show. They'll probably touch on those two shows a little bit. Really, it's only Fear the Walking Dead. So what? Are you going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead for the full 2 hours? No, you're going to talk about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, right? So this is where it gets very, very exciting, right? Because it's a 2-hour panel. So there's going to be a lot of details. And I think at Comic-Con, in the summer, they had a lot of plans to announce quite a bit of stuff, but they couldn't. And I think this year they're going to. And I do think this year's Comic-Con is going to have a big focus, or this year's New York Comic-Con is going to have a big focus on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So I want to talk about all of that. I'll get into some of the details here and get into all that. So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Episode 5 is premiering this Sunday, and I'm so excited for that. So definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get my reviews and all of that for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, as well as for The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So let's get into the details here. So obviously this year's New York Comic-Con is very, very exciting now because The Walking Dead spinoffs are going to be there, and I imagine the Rick and Michonne show is going to have a pretty big reveal here, a pretty big showcase, and I wonder if we could get the official trailer here. And it's a little crazy to say, but if you really think about it, this trailer is going to drop at some point in the next 2 months. And so could it drop next week? That is very, very possible. This show has a rumored release date of February. A lot of people are talking about that just kind of online. I mean, it could drop in March or April. It might not be February. It's going to be, I think, around there. There's no way The Ones Who Live comes out next spring in June, right? There's no way they're going to release it then, or May. They're not holding it off until October or anything like that. Obviously next summer and in the fall, they're going to have not The Ones Who Live, but Daryl Dixon and Dead City, both, they're going to have a season 2. That's going to air next year in the summer and fall. The Ones Who Live is going to air at some point in the early part of 2024. This year's almost over. It's October 3rd, and 2 months from now, it's December 3rd. And I'm like, they never promote stuff going into the holidays. And so really, it makes sense that they could release a trailer next week, right? If it's not next week, it's going to be at some point by the end of November, before Thanksgiving in the US and stuff. It's going to be at some point before then. And because this event is 2 hours long and will feature a lot of stuff for the Walking Dead universe, it makes so much sense that they could actually show us some stuff here. There's a lot of stuff they can get into, and we'll talk about that here. But let's get into some details here for the panel. So the panel, again, it's going to be on October 12th. A lot of people are probably going to be asking me, when is this happening, this and that. It's on October 12th, and it seems like it's actually scheduled to happen at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. So roughly 4 o'clock Eastern. So just remember that, October 12th, around 4 o'clock Eastern, 4:15 specifically Eastern. So 4:15 Eastern or something around there. And it's going to be 2 hours long. So definitely, if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, my channel name is Appetite for the Dead. I will be live during all of this, and we'll watch the reveal. I'll sort of react to it. We'll break everything down, and we'll do a whole thing for this because it's going to be really exciting to actually see this play out. And I mean, obviously, we could get some new information and all that. You know, the actor strike isn't over yet. I don't think so. I think it's the writer strike that's over right now. So obviously a lot of the actors and stuff can't really be there. But I mean, at this point, that doesn't really bother me that much anyways. Like that, you know, that'll be fun for next year. I'm sure, at least I'm hoping so, but the strike will be over by next summer. But in terms of giving us a trailer and giving us stuff like that, announcements, a release date and all that, I'm really looking forward to that. And I feel like what they'll probably do in terms of a release date is they're going to give us a month, right? Like it's going to be like February 2024 or like March 2024. It's not going to be like a specific date. I feel like they really do hold off on a lot of details like that for as long as they can. Because even like after The Walking Dead usually ended, like, you know, their first half of the season, that we'd have the mid-season finale end at the end of November, early December or whatever. We would get this date of like February or whatever of the next year. And sometimes it was a very specific date, but a lot of times it was just sort of generally, it was just that next year around that point, right? So I'm assuming it's going to be something like that. I think that's probably what we're going to get. In terms of what they're going to be talking about here, I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff. Like there is the Walking Dead game. There is that Walking Dead Destinies game that's coming out, I believe, next month in November. So they're probably going to showcase that, talk about that quite a bit as well. That's going to be something that they probably talk about early on in the panel. They'll get into some details about that or whatever. And then I think they're going to get into, I mean, that's the thing too, right? Like it's possible that, I mean, do they talk about the comics? Do they get into anything like that? That's where I feel like it could be. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe there is some stuff there where they do talk about the comics and all that. Usually it's not like that though. Like usually that's Skybound stuff, right? So it's not really AMC. So I think AMC is likely going to focus just on, you know, on their content, just on their spinoffs, the new game they have coming out and stuff. And Dead City Season 2, there could be some announcements on filming. We'll probably get some updates on that because, I mean, they don't have an exception to film for Dead City Season 2, I don't believe, but they probably could come up with something for that, just like they did for The Ones Who Live, in order to do some, you know, post-production work on that. And the Daryl Dixon Season 2. I don't know why I called it the Daryl Dixon Season 2. It's called The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 2. So they're probably going to get some sort of exception for that, I imagine, but they're able to write Dead City Season 2. They can write Daryl Dixon Season 3 if they wanted to right now, right? Like they're able to actually write a lot of this stuff here. So I really feel like as soon as that strike was over, that's why we got this announcement here, is because they're able to write a bunch of stuff and they're able to actually work on some stuff now in terms of that. Basically do a lot of planning. You can pretty much come up with anything you want in terms of content. Just can't really film it yet unless you come up with some sort of agreement like you did for The Ones Who Live and Daryl Dixon, which, you know, obviously they've done it before. I feel like they probably could do that again, right? So next week is going to be pretty big. That's 2 hours long. It's a 2-hour panel, and they're going to be getting into a lot of details here. Next week's a pretty big deal, you know, like they can actually get into quite a bit of stuff here. I will say overall, I think that in terms of Dead City Season 2, I feel like they'll probably talk about when they do plan on filming. I think that's probably for the most part what it's going to be. They'll just say we're going to film early next year, or it's going to be, I don't know when, but at some point they're probably going to start filming. Daryl Dixon Season 2, they're probably going to give an update on filming for Season 2, talk about the finale, talk about, you know, just what it's been like, you know, for that show, this and that. They'll probably talk about the success of both spinoffs. Fear the Walking Dead's final 6 episodes will be obviously a big focus as well, because this is the end of that show, and so they want to give that show a good goodbye. So I imagine we're going to get that. And then the Walking Dead Destinies, that will be a focus as well. But this is a 2-hour panel. There's going to be Rick and Michonne stuff there. Could we get a trailer? I think yes, we'll probably get a trailer. Is the trailer going to be 2 minutes long or something like that? We'll have to wait and see. I think that the trailer for sure is likely going to be at least a minute long. It's going to be more than what we got. I really feel like at this event, we could get something where they give us casting details, because you got to think of what they've officially released. The 30-second teaser, 30-second teaser that we got at Comic-Con like a couple months ago is really all that they officially released. I guess they announced that there is a new character named Pearl Thorne. That's about it. In terms of casting, it's Rick, Michonne, and I guess a new character named Pearl Thorne. That's it. They haven't confirmed Jadis. They haven't confirmed Major General Beale. There's a lot of stuff that they haven't confirmed yet, you know, in terms of casting and like descriptions of these characters and stuff. We have never seen any sort of footage with any character really outside of Rick and Michonne. So there's a lot of stuff that they could give us here. I think that in terms of the footage and stuff, we are going to get quite a bit. I think that they probably will showcase a little bit more of the story and all of that. And I think that's pretty much going to be it for the most part. I think that getting a minute teaser makes a lot of sense. they could give us the full-length trailer if that's done. Again, this show has been really quiet for like 3 months now, right? Like almost 3 months. By the time this panel airs, it'll be pretty close to 3 months. And so if it airs in February, that is 4 months from now. Releasing the trailer 4 months before the show comes out isn't that crazy. Like, it's honestly not that crazy of a thing to do. I think that it makes perfect sense to do that. Usually for The Walking Dead, they release the trailer about 3.5 months prior, right? So I could see them making an exception and releasing something here. There's going to be something. Like, there's going to for sure be something here, but exactly what, we'll have to wait and see. I think there's going to be new footage for sure. There's going to be a trailer of some sorts. In terms of it being the official trailer and all that, I think that's up for debate. They could wait until the end of November, but there's going to be new footage, I'm sure. Like, there's no way they're going to have a 2-hour panel and not give us anything with the Rick and Michonne show. Like, there's going to be something there. So I'm excited, you know, in terms of predictions as to what I think is likely going to happen here. I feel like we'll probably see, you know, Rick and Michonne, obviously. We'll see newer footage of just stuff that they're doing. In terms of Major General Beale, I don't think we'll see him. Jadis, I feel like we could get. I think we could see some footage of Jadis. Casting information, I think, is a big one. They'll probably get into a bunch of stuff for that. You know, the director, the writers, and all that. I guess we kind of know a lot of that information, but I think they should announce a lot of that info. And again, a release date, a general release date of like February 2024 might be something that they actually release. So next week could be very exciting. So that's 9 days exactly from now. So 9 days from now, I will be live on Twitch, obviously breaking down all the information. And after that, obviously, I will do videos and stuff like that. So next Thursday is going to be a pretty busy day. I mean, the next week and a little bit's going to be kind of insane if you think about it. This Sunday is the Daryl Dixon show, episode 5. We're getting the Variant Walker stuff, a lot of crazy stuff in that episode. The 12th, a couple days later, we could get this trailer. And then a couple days after that, we're going to be getting the Daryl Dixon finale for season 1. And then what if Carol shows up? Like, really crazy time. Like, the next 2 weeks are going to be insane. And then that's kind of where I question, because then we go into Fear the Walking Dead territory, right? And remember, for Dead City, for every single episode, they released a small little teaser for Rick and Michonne. I was questioning whether or not they were going to do that for Daryl Dixon. And I remember before season 1 started, I was mentioning like, well, you know, they could do it for Daryl Dixon, or they could wait and do it for Fear the Walking Dead. So I wonder if they're going to do it for Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead premieres on October 22nd, so that's in 19 days from now. Could we see Rick and Michonne teasers during that? Could they release, and when I say teasers, what they did before for Dead City was like these 10-second teasers. For most of it, it was basically the same teasers. You know, like for 2 episodes that would come out, there would be like the same teaser. Maybe there was a scene change, a really quick scene change sort of thing. And obviously for this show, we're going to analyze it so much. But there was a lot of newer stuff. They released a lot of new footage and it honestly really hyped up Daryl Dixon. And so I think they could do that here. And so if they do that from the 22nd, the finale for this will air on November 26th, basically right there. That could be a date where we do get the official trailer for sure. Because I'm just thinking, like what, you're going to hold off the trailer until when, January? Like, if the show premieres in February, you're not going to release the full trailer a month beforehand, especially a big show like this. You're going to want to promote this, right? Like, I can see them. I mean, obviously, they still went crazy with Daryl Dixon and Dead City. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of promoting it, like, if you want it to succeed, Rick and Michonne, they're going to want it to succeed a lot. They're going to want to get a lot of viewers and stuff. So they're going to promote this show quite a bit. So that's why next week's panel isn't that shocking in that sense. Like, I don't know why it's shocking for a lot of us, because I guess we're just sort of used to the sort of non-promotion of the shows. And I'm more referencing, like, The Walking Dead final season, because The Walking Dead final season wasn't promoted the best. Season 10 was promoted pretty good, I would say, except for the bonus episodes and all of that. Once we got into that territory, things really kind of died down quite a bit, and it's kind of been the same since, though, again, until Dead City and Daryl Dixon, because they really started to promote it quite a bit after that. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. I can't wait to see what we get next week. And yeah, so definitely make sure to be a subscriber to get my breakdowns on everything revealed at New York Comic Con. And also, go follow me on Twitch. My channel name is Appetite for the Dead. The link should be in the description. But hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.